Welcome to ISL Enabled Virtual Lab of CSIR.
Hi everyone,
I'm Utsuka.
I am Jigyasa and
You're
you are listening to India Asks Why,
a science podcast supported by India Bioscience.
where we do the research for you to get smarter.
Join us as India becomes more curious,
One question at a time.
Utsuka and Jigyasa are curious observers. We know that. Now they also have curious friends. One of their friends, our listener, Rhythm Goel, asked, "Why do we have birthmarks and moles?" So let's see what the curious team found out. In the interview segment, they talk with Dr. Ramray Bhatt, a cancer scientist from the Indian Institute of Science, IISc, Bangalore. He tells them about why cells sometimes behave abnormally to give rise to moles and birthmarks, and what causes some cells in our body to become cancerous. Do you have any moles and birthmarks, Jigyasa?
Yes, I have one dark spot on my neck. What about you?
I had one when I was a baby, but my family says it eventually disappeared.
How curious! Birthmarks and moles are definitely mysterious. Looks like the cause of birthmarks and moles has puzzled the scientists too. There doesn't seem to be a defined reason for such thing to happen. But from many years of research, the scientific community has speculated several reasons.
Whoa! But before getting there, what exactly are birthmarks and moles?
Yes, let's define them. A birthmark is basically any mark that is present on the skin right from birth. Not so difficult. These can be any kind of a mark. Some are reddish or raised, giving a strawberry-like appearance. Some are a bit brownish, giving a coffee-like color to the skin. And some can be very dark. There is a wide variety in the types of birthmarks we can have.
Okay, that's a lot of types of birthmarks. And what about moles?
Yes, a mole is a type of skin growth where the pigment cells in the skin tend to form a cluster. They can appear on the skin or on the mucous membranes, like inside the mouth.
Formed from a cluster of pigment producing cells? Let me guess. You are talking about melanocytes, right?
Yes, Utsuka. You remember we had discussed that these are specialized cells which give color to our skin?
Exactly. But my question is, why do these melanocytes form clusters?
That's a very interesting question. One group of doctors think that this could be because the cells have lost their ability to hold each other, to keep that flat shape or surface.
What does that mean?
So, cells usually stay in a flat, stretched out shape like a rubber band. But when the cells lose the molecular bridges which keep them flat, they cluster together like a released rubber band.
Oh, so that explains why some moles pop up from the skin surface. But Jigyasa, not all marks we have on our skin are raised, right? As you said, some birthmarks are just dark colored marks on the skin. Why does that happen?
Utsuka, you have yet another very interesting question. However, we don't know or have a clear answer to this. As I mentioned before, we only know of some speculative reasons. And for these reasons, we need to go back in time, where we can still have a ball of cells.
Ball of cells? Do you mean when we were embryos?
Yes, I was talking about embryos. Looks like you're paying close attention to all our discussions. As embryos grow, cells within them start to specialize and give rise to different kinds of cells. One such type of specialized cells also give rise to the future melanocytes. These melanocytes are supposed to station themselves in specific layers of cells in the embryo. When this stationing happens correctly, we'll end up getting our standard skin with the standard melanocytes.
So, what happens when they aren't stationed properly?
Recent studies have found that those melanocytes which have taken a different route of development, they develop differently from the rest of the melanocytes. And this different development could then become a cause for some of the colored birthmarks that we can see in children.
Ah, I see.
But some of the other types of birthmarks may have less severe reason to. They may be simply formed because the melanocytes decided to produce more pigment in a certain spot instead of increasing their numbers.
That's a lot of reasons. Why do these melanocytes suddenly decide to behave differently?
I was hoping that you would ask this question. This could happen due to mutations in the melanocytes, which affect the production of the pigment. Do you remember what mutations are, Utsuka?
Changes in the genes of the cells?
Exactly.
In all the causes of the moles and birthmarks you described, it looks like there was something up with these cells. They were either growing too much, or growing abnormally, or growing on top of each other. I wonder why cells start to behave like this all of a sudden.
I think I know the perfect person to answer your questions. Let's ask Dr. Ramre Bhatt.
And now it's time to ask a scientist.